Hey guys, it's Naira. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. What up? Today I'm doing another celebrity true crime and makeup video. A lot of people do true crime and makeup. Well, not a ton of people, but like people do it. But my spin is that I do celebrities because I love celebrity gossip, celebrity drama. I love it. Like, I'm not going to be one of those people that pretend not to. I love it. And I love true crime and murder mysteries. Put it together and I'm having a good old time. And I love makeup. Perfect. Today I'm doing the one and only Selena, the icon, the singer, the businesswoman, the entrepreneur. She was the definition of that chick, like, period. Period, point blank, period. That's it. And unfortunately, her life was taken from her by someone who didn't even deserve to be around her. Like, it's really sad. It's really upsetting me. If you guys want to hear my rendition, well, it's factual, but you know, it's me telling it. If you want to hear my rendition of the murder of Miss Selena, then keep watching. I'm not going to have a super lengthy introduction about who Selena was, because even if you don't like know Selena, you know who Selena was, you know what I mean? She was a well-decorated singer. During her brief but beautiful career, Selena had won Latin Billboard Awards, a Grammy, and many other awards. And she also owned 2 of her own boutique clothing stores. I know that's right, homegirl. She was a girl boss, period. Sometimes I don't like the term girl boss because it's like, why we gotta specify that it's a girl? A girl can't just be a boss. But yeah, Miss Selena wasn't just a singer. She was a businesswoman. We're talking like Coca-Cola spokesperson, businesswoman, and that's on period. And Selena just seemed to be an all-around sweet celebrity, a good role model. Like, I mean, it's Selena, and she's a fashion icon. Let's not forget that. Home girl is going to serve looks if she doesn't do anything else, period. But sadly, her life was taken from her by someone who didn't even deserve to be around her, someone who shouldn't have even been allowed in her presence. It's so sad. Let's get into the story. So let me introduce to you Miss Yolanda Saldivar. She was a nurse, and she actually was not a fan of Selena, but she had a niece who convinced her to go to a Selena concert, and she fell in love with Selena because it's Selena, you know, like if you don't like her, you just hating. So she finally stopped hating and became a fan when she saw Selena in concert, thanks to her niece. And since then, she was just in love with Miss Selena. She wanted to get like merch, like memorabilia from the concert, and she couldn't find any. And that's when she got the idea, like, wow, there should be a fan club for Miss Selena so that people can have easy access to merch and Selena memorabilia and all that. Like, she went from not being a fan to like really being a fan. And she contacted Abraham, who was Selena's father, and was asking his permission. I couldn't even figure out how she got his number. Can I start there? I don't know how she got Selena's father's number, but that's the first red flag, baby. Selena's father says that before he got back in contact with Yolanda, that she had left him over a dozen voicemails. Yolanda denied this. She said that she had only left him just 3 little voicemails. Either way, he got back in touch with Yolanda and granted her permission, said that she could start and run a Selena fan club. As president of the Selena fan club, homegirl got to schedule all of her appearances and like autograph signings. She got to schedule those for Selena, which is crazy to me because when I hear fan club, maybe it was a different time in, you know, the industry, but when I hear fan club, I think like you on like an email newsletter and you might get discounts on a t-shirt or something. You know what I mean? Like, so times must have been different. Now, this little fan club president role that Yolanda was appointed to was initially unpaid, and she performed so well that they said, you know what? Let's bring her on the team for real, because she doing her thing running the fan club. She was promoted, and not only did she become the manager of the 2 clothing stores I mentioned that Selena owned, her 2 boutiques. She also became Selena's personal assistant. So you can only imagine homegirl's probably just like stoked about being this close to Selena. But it became very clear to the other employees of Selena's boutiques that Yolanda was obsessive. Yolanda was like, if anybody's talking to Selena, it's got to go through me. The store employees would complain to Selena directly and to Selena's father, and Yolanda would have them fired or treat them like crap, you know, retaliate, which is why HR is important, y'all, because if you ever snitch on your boss or something, or like go to HR with a complaint or something, they not supposed to retaliate. Like, they could lose their jobs. A lot of people don't be knowing stuff like that. But yeah, she would get people fired, or, well, fire people. She had that power that didn't like the fact that she was obsessive with Selena. Other people would do really good work in the store or make cool designs, and she would take credit for it in front of Selena. And, you know, she was obsessed. She wanted Selena to know that she was that girl. And then the fact that she's Selena's assistant as well also made it easy for her to like intercept other people's contact with Selena, which is like, girl, get a life. Get a life. I'm sorry, y'all. I really don't like this woman. All right, now really listen up. This is where it starts to get good. This is where things start to get crazy. Yolanda was also sketchy with the boutique store receipts. Important receipts would just go missing or be incorrect. Numbers wasn't adding up. Like it wasn't adding up.
If 2 + 2 is 4, right? And 5 + 5 is 10, okay. What the fuck is this?
And it was really Selena's dad, Abraham, that was catching on. He was like, I don't like that. So yeah, she was doing something weird with the money, right? And Selena's dad started to catch on. But then it gets worse because his suspicions were affirmed. He started receiving complaints from fan club members, because remember, she ran the fan club too. He started receiving complaints from fan club members that they were paying their club dues, like their fan club dues, and paying for memorabilia, and they were receiving none of what they were promised. They were just paying and like shelling out money to get Selena memorabilia and posters and merch or whatever they were promised, and they had gotten nothing. They were like, what are y'all scamming us? Like, what the frick? So now Selena's dad is ready to accuse. He's like, oh yeah, we pointing a finger today. He has a meeting with Selena, Yolanda, and I believe it was Selena's sister. I'm not sure if anyone else was in attendance. And he confronts Yolanda and he's like, bro, what the F are you doing with the money? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's asking her questions. She is not giving him any straight answers, or she's just like, I don't know. I don't know anything, even though I'm the one that runs it and handles all the finances. I don't know. How am I supposed to know? I'm just the one doing it. So yeah, she was embezzling money.
Embezzle?
Yeah.
Embezzle?
Because you wanted me to
Embezzle? Embezzle?
I was helping her.
Embezzle? She's talking about embezzle money. Embezzle, bitch.
She was embezzling money from the fan club and the store. She was playing stupid at the time, but she later admitted to embezzling around $200,000. What? Y'all are really scamming like that? Okay. Abraham, Selena's father, had told Yolanda, like, look, you can prove your innocence, like prove that you really didn't do this, or we're calling the cops. And she wasn't able to, and I guess they just gave her a pass. Like, nothing came of it. They just never called the cops on her, which is unfortunate, because had they, maybe this could have been prevented. This is from what I understand. I might be, like, if I'm misspeaking, please forgive me and correct me, but he did threaten to call the police on her if she didn't prove her innocence, and then she didn't prove her innocence. So, like, you know, like, but then she was never arrested for it. So now, even though people had complained to Selena and Selena's father about Yolanda, I mean, that was her assistant. Like, Selena considered Yolanda like a good friend, like not only her employee, but she considered her a good friend. And Selena was always hesitant to believe all the claims made against Yolanda, and tried to just stick by her homegirl. But the embezzlement incident made Selena be like, all right, dang, yeah, I probably gotta fire my homegirl. But Selena did not fire her immediately and was hesitant because Selena was gonna play the game right. Selena knew that Yolanda had important tax papers and like receipts and statements and documents that were vital to Selena's like career. So Selena was like, okay, I'll fire her, but I've got to play the long game, like I've got to do this right. So March 15th, 1995 rolls around, and Selena and Yolanda were on their way to a restaurant, but then Yolanda was kind of like, no, I don't want to go in the restaurant. So they just like sat in Selena's car. And Yolanda was saying to Selena, like, I think I should quit. I don't think I should be your assistant anymore. Like, I'm thinking about quitting. And Selena knows that oh, look at that. I got foundation up there. Oh, silly me. And Selena ain't no dummy. Like, Selena knew she still needed to get the papers from Yolanda. And so Selena's like, quit? Girl, no. I've got a big deal coming up. She was opening a new store in Mexico. And she was like, no, I need you right now. Like, no, don't quit, girl. So Yolanda's like, okay, I'm not gonna quit. And then after being convinced by her boss to not quit her job, Yolanda flashes Selena a gun. Now hindsight is 2020. What Selena didn't know at the time, what no one knew at the time, but Yolanda had actually purchased that gun the day after her father sat her down. The day after Selena's father sat Yolanda down and was like, you embezzling money, ho? That was the day that Yolanda bought the gun. So obviously she had malicious intent, but hindsight's 2020. Selena didn't know that, whatever. And rightfully so, Selena's like, what the F is this? Selena is like freaking out, and she's like, okay, take your gun and put it back where it came from. Like, put it away, get it away from me. So 15 days later, March 30th, Yolanda calls up Selena and she's like, hey girl, I'm currently at the Days Inn hotel and I have that paperwork you wanted from me. Come and get it. And Selena's husband, he probably had good intuition. Selena's husband was like, I don't want you to go by yourself. I'm gonna drive you myself. So Selena's husband escorts her to the Days Inn hotel, and Selena goes up to Yolanda's room. While she's there, Yolanda begins to confide in her and tells her that in a recent trip to Mexico that she unfortunately had been raped. And of course, Selena's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry, that's terrible. Like, let me take you to the hospital. And Yolanda absolutely refuses. Yolanda's like, no, not take me to the hospital. I'm not going to the hospital. But she continues to tell Selena about the incident. So eventually they wrap up their conversation. Selena takes the paperwork that Yolanda gave her and goes back to her husband's car. And when she gets there, she's looking through the paperwork and she realizes this is not all of it. And her husband's like, no. Her husband's like, you're not going back up to that hotel room. You'll get it another time. Like, I feel like he probably just felt like something was off. Like, he probably was like, nah, my wife ain't nothing about to happen to my wife tonight. So that same night, Yolanda calls Selena and she's like, silly me, I found the rest of the paperwork. Want to come pick it up? And then she also starts talking about the fact that she had been raped again. And Selena is getting frustrated because Yolanda won't allow her to help. Selena's words to Yolanda at the end of the conversation before hanging up the phone was, it's late and this conversation is over. Click. So the next day, Selena actually goes back to the hotel, but not just for her paperwork. She's like, girl, I'm taking you to the hospital. She takes her friend to a hospital, and here's where things get interesting. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but you'll see. To be very clear, I'm not like saying like, oh, it's so interesting that someone could have been sexually assaulted or raped. I'm a victim. I don't play about that. So let's be clear on that. Nobody take that like out of context or nothing, because I ain't got time for it. All right, so at the hospital, doctors found no evidence that she was sexually assaulted, raped, anything like that. They concluded that to be false. I don't really want to like gamble about whether or not I think that she did lie about that, because like that's something super traumatic. Like I don't want to ever take away from what potentially could be another woman's trauma. That's not my place. It's nobody's place. But I will say this, because of the mindset and like the lack of stability and the obsession that she had with Selena, I do believe that she was capable of lying about that to like keep Selena around and manipulate Selena, but nobody knows that she lied about that but her. That's it. So Selena takes her back to the hotel and they are arguing. Reportedly they were arguing over like business matters, and they were arguing so badly that even the people that were like in the room surrounding Yolanda's room complained about the noise. Like they were having like a really heated argument. And so finally Selena is like, nah, I'm out of here. Like this is over. And Selena reaches for the briefcase that has the rest of the documents that Selena needs. And as she is reaching for the briefcase, Yolanda Saldivar shoots Selena in her shoulder. So she shoots Selena, but Selena does not go down without a fight. Selena runs out of the hotel room and she's running like through the hallways trying to get to the hotel lobby. And Selena got all the way to the hotel lobby before collapsing, and she was screaming and crying. She was screaming and crying, saying, "Lock the doors, they'll shoot me again." Saying that like she knew Yolanda wanted to kill her and that Yolanda would shoot her again if she could. There were people in the lobby that were trying to help keep Selena like coherent, so like that she didn't, you know, become unresponsive. The hotel manager called the police as Selena was on the floor bleeding. The ambulance arrived only a minute and 55 seconds after being called. However, unfortunately, upon arriving at the hospital, Selena was pronounced brain dead. Now, this did not stop them from trying everything they could to save her life. There were 2 doctors who worked for 15 minutes trying to save Selena's life. Her heart had stopped beating on its own, and at one point they were literally massaging her heart by hand so that she did not pass away. But unfortunately, after 15 minutes of attempted revival, Selena was pronounced dead, which is so sad and effed up, like seriously. But the story doesn't end there. We still got to deal with Miss Yolanda. This is ugly. Oh my god, I used to do like this lip color all the time and it is not coming out right. Ew. So now let's talk about what happened to Yolanda. This next part I'm about to speak about is especially annoying to me because like, don't take a life and try to play the victim. But so after shooting Yolanda locks herself in her car and threatens to kill herself, like holding the gun up to her head. She has a 9.5-hour standoff with the police. Imagine being a police officer on duty that day. I'd be so pissed. Like, imagine you get called there at the end of your shift. Bro, what? While she was locked in her car, there was a negotiator talking to her, and she was saying things like, I can't live with myself because of what I did to my best friend and my only real friend. And she wouldn't say Selena's name, and that she wouldn't be able to live with the judgment of the world because she killed Selena, and that's why she wanted to kill herself. And after 9.5 hours of a police standoff and negotiating, she finally came out of her car. They took the gun from her and arrested her ass. Period. Now, I want to touch on this. Obviously, she was not in the right mental state. Like, obviously, something was not, up to par mentally. But it's hard for me personally to feel sympathy because she did murder Selena and like she was doing so many malicious things. You know what I mean? Like obviously she was doing them. Maybe she did have ulterior motives. Maybe she was a bad person, but clearly she needed mental help. But at the same time, like she took Selena's life. Like it's hard to feel sympathy, you know, or like be understanding. Yolanda went to court and had the nerve to plead innocent on grounds of insanity. She said that she was trying to shoot herself and not shoot Selena, which is not true because it was reported that after she shot Selena, she chased Selena for a little bit and then turned around and went back to her hotel room. If you were not trying to kill Selena, you wouldn't have like even attempted to chase her. Or if that was true, after shooting Selena, you would have just shot yourself. Like, oops, had the gun pointed the wrong way. And then if you were really trying to kill yourself, you would have turned it around. You know what I mean? Like, Selena's fans stood outside of the courtroom demanding that she be charged. And 2.5 hours passed and the jury said, homegirl is guilty of the murder of Selena. Yolanda was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole until 2025. So 5 years from now, who knows? I saw an interesting tweet. Somebody said that like if she is just obsessive like that about celebrities, that they're afraid she could get out on parole and then do that to other female, like another celebrity or something. And I was like, that's scary. But yeah, Selena had a open casket viewing where 30 to 40,000 of her fans showed up, and it's just so sad. It's just so sad. But that is the full story, the death and the justice of the death and the murder. What? Huh? That is the full story of the death / murder. It was a murder. The murder of Miss Selena. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy these true crime celebrity videos, let me know. I'll keep doing them. I enjoy doing them every once in a while, so I'll probably keep doing them anyway. But like, let me know who you think I should do. If you like them, if you don't like them, I don't care. Just kidding. I care about your opinion. Okay. Follow me on my social medias. They will be right here and down below. Thanks so much for watching. Mwah! Bye.